Hello everybody, this is Nico Novum Del Val, and I'm here with Christian Bear Apanero, and we're here to bring you the North American Master League Oh shit, not the qualifiers anymore, is it?
And we are proud to be here. A little bit of a small delay, just some issues in getting some of the players ready, but we are
Oh yeah, I have the frickin', okay, sorry, I forgot to change those. I'm changing them now. My bad. I had those left there from the placeholders. Just 1 second.
Yeah, he's working on getting it up and running so we can see the champs available, but we do have the bands coming through. Azir, Rumble, Fiora all banned out. We do have a couple champs that are permanently banned just through these games, so Mord, Garion, Darius, and Skarner will all be disabled. The Juggernaut's very, very strong this patch, so preferably we'll see some other champs played instead of having all those all the bans wasted on 4 of those champs. They get a couple extra ones.
Yep, and oh, UES lost 1 band.
Yeah, UES unfortunately had a little bit of trouble getting their subs through, and with a little bit of a delay, they did lose 1 ban. So we'll see if that gets relayed to them in time.
That chat window popping up on stream. Sorry guys, I was not ready for this. I didn't ask for this.
I'm just excited to see these games play. I haven't played it too long, so
it's fine.
We see Braum banned out as the last ban for Blue Side, and I guess they forgot that they lost a ban, because we do see the 6th ban popping up here.
Yeah, I'll let it slide this time. All the teams, can you please contact me on Skype and not in League of Legends, because I'm currently in the window right now. You can go ahead and keep analyzing there, Bear. I'm just reorganizing all of this stuff. I'm sorry, everybody. I really should have been ready, but I was not, because I was typing to everybody rampantly.
A little bit understandable. We had a tough start to this, but Victor, being the first pick brought up here, Victor, very, very strong mid lane, very safe pick, brings poke, CC, a lot of zone control to the team fight, so I expect him to be very, very popular through a lot of these games. I think he's one of the best mid laners in the game currently, especially with the Azir band. Azir, one of the few mid laners who really, really can bully Victor. With him out, it leaves Victor to run wild mid lane.
Definitely. He's just got some really great poke mechanics, and he's such a versatile champion that he doesn't really have any losing matchups.
Yeah, with Azir gone, I think that's really the only kind of 50-50 lane that Victor can end up losing just from the lane itself without jungle pressure, and with that out, Victor's free. Alistar and Gragas coming across ATN side. Alistar, one of the strongest supports in the game right now as well. He brings so much CC to a team fight. He can really focus out any immobile carry like Victor, and hopefully their team can follow up and blow him up. That is a 1 team fight if he gets a really good combo going. Gragas, just one of the safest junglers as well. He brings a lot of disengage, a good jungle clear, and some pretty potent ganks early as well.
Yeah, and Alistar is just a really great champion. You have that ultimate, which I think is probably his best ability. Like, not only does he have like great CC and great AoE knockup, which is going to combo well with Gragas, but he also has that ultimate that'll cleanse any CC and make him extremely tanky. It gives him a better mid game than most supports as far as tankiness is concerned, because he doesn't need items to be damage efficient, and it's really hard to put him so far behind that he's not going to be relevant as a tank.
Exciting picks coming over from UES's side. We see Zach, who hasn't seen too much play in LCS or any other competitive leagues, but I am very excited to see the Zach pick. It's awesome to see him running around, jumping through the jungle. His ganks are fantastic. I love his team fights. His ultimate, really, really good too. Kind of similar to Gragas, where it moves around a lot of the champions on the other team and can kind of set the tone in a fight, especially with Gnar as well. Gnar, one of the safer top laners, he's been so relevant for so long now with his huge, huge team fight presence. His ultimate changes games.
Yeah, and I just remember when Gnar first came out, and everybody was like, nobody's ever going to pick this champion competitive. He's so unpredictable. And then he ended up being a top-tier competitive pick, and Riot's just like, we don't even know what to do anymore.
Yeah, I think it took a little bit of time to get used to controlling his rage bar and picking the right times to engage, but once people figured it out, he is such a strong team fighter, and he has a pretty safe lane for the most part as well. He not only can farm from a distance when he's in his mini mode, being able to transform into Mega Gnar mid lane gives you a lot of health, a good sustain, and just a really, really good lane to gank as well. On the other side, though, seeing Aurelia picked up, I love the Aurelia pick into Gnar. It gives you a really good pressure lane to push Gnar around. Aurelia is one of the few champs that can really outduel him and potentially outlane him as well.
Yeah, I just think it's really hard to lane against a ranged champion when you're playing a melee. I think Aurelia has the best gap closer for that kind of matchup, but I think Gnar, as a ranged champion, still has the advantage in that matchup. But we do see two more picks. Coming out from UES's side, we have Jinx and Morgana. That's a really solid duo lane coming in from them. Though I'm not sure about the effectiveness of the Black Shield in a matchup with... it looks like a little bit of pretty little CC on ATN's side. To be totally honest, just not a lot of, like, ooh, I'm gonna just get you from a really long range with this crowd control. But I could be wrong. I'm only half paying attention right now.
Yeah, it depends. With Alistar on the other team, I think it's a safe pick. Having Black Shield to put on whoever Alistar is going to target, it is kind of shown. Like, you can kind of tell when Alistar is going to go in, unless it's this crazy, flash pulverize from Fog of War. But for the most part, you know when Alistar is going to engage, and being able to protect whoever he's going to engage on is very, very important. So Black Shield going to be incredibly relevant in these fights. If Morgana can get that shield down on the target that Alistar is going for, that can really swing a team fight in their favor.
Yeah, and we did see the last pick coming out from ATN right here, which what the heck was it? Adequate team name. Yeah, that was it. Adequate team name. It was what it was. And Karthus comes out from them. That's a really strong team fighting pick, and honestly, I really like the team fights coming out from their side. It's just I don't think that's going to be the best team fighting composition you can have. I think that in this draft that UES has definitely won it, just because they have a more AoE for those team fights and more opportunities to make a big play. But I'm not going to discount ATN's comp either, because they do have a ton of disengage. I just think they could have picked a better AD carry for kiting in that kind of composition.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Karthus played, actually. It's been so long since I've seen him, but ATN's comp, you always have this weird kind of awkward situation where you have a Gragas on your team, but then you have people who really want to keep someone in the same spot. So Karthus really wants to dive into an enemy team, get as many lay waste off as possible, die in the middle of them, and then just ult after he dies. Gragas kind of disengages and moves enemy around and counteracts that. So they'll have to see if they can get good fights where Karthus can get enough of his damage off, and Gragas gets good, safe barrels, maybe to disengage for Vayne, or maybe to knock people back in. If they can get that going, I actually really like ATN's team comp. UES's is a little bit safer, though.
Definitely. I wouldn't say they were safer. I think they have more forms of engage than ATN does. They just don't have as much disengage. But I think that when you run a composition with a ton of disengage, if the engage can get through the front line, then once it gets there, you can't really stop it. You have all of that disengage, but you need to make sure they can't engage first. And of course, if you're running a lot of disengage, then you don't have a ton of engage either. But I think Gragas is one of those really good champions that he can serve a dual purpose. He can disengage or engage with his ultimate, and I think that ultimate is really great for picks as long as the team can get into the right position, establish the right wards to get the team fight they're looking for.
Yeah, I think UES just has a little bit more, guaranteed damage in that team fight. Other than that Karthus ult, the Gnar being able to ult people, keep them in one spot. You can lay Victor's ult right on top of it. Zax's going to be jumping around in the middle of them. And Morgana's ult. They just have so much AoE that's really going to go off in these fights. I think they have a little bit of a better team fight. Again, it kind of depends how ATN ends up playing it out, though. But we will see. I'm still really excited to see this Karthus. It's so fun to see him ult and just pick people off in other lanes. It's one of the most frustrating things when you're playing against it, but so fun when you are the Karthus.
Definitely. And I really want to see the Rylai's coming out from this Karthus, just because since it's been a really long time since Karthus was generally played, a lot of the items he actually likes to use have been buffed. Have been buffed in a lot of ways, and the Rylai's is really good because it can apply an area of effect. Slow, that's 40%. It's a really strong item. And with as much area of effect damage as Karthus has, I think it would be really bad for him not to pick that item up.
Yeah, it's been a while. I believe all the AP items actually have been changed since the last time we've really seen Karthus be relevant, so we'll see what build path he goes, and I'm a big fan of Rallies on Karthus as well. I think that's going to be really, really strong for the team fights, and I assume he'll build it. I actually kind of find it hard that he won't, but we'll see if he decides to rush potentially Luden's Echo or a different item first. And
now that would be interesting.
I think Luden's on Karthus is pretty strong. Luden's on a lot of mid laners is a little ridiculous, but we'll see how he goes.
Yes, we will, and we are getting into the game now. If you think Undefined Esports will take this game, please spam the chat with hashtag UES win. And if you think adequate team name win, then please spam the chat with hashtag ATN win. And we are going to come in with the starting lineups on the Undefined Esports side. We have Lone Drifter in the top lane, Gammy Gam in the jungle, by far in the middle lane, Raydara at 80 carry, and Bleeds on Morgana. And on ATN side, we have Tuba on Aurelia, Tokus on Gragas, Gelady on Karthus, Krabgot on Vayne, and Flareons on Alistar.
You know, I'm actually really disappointed that Krabgot didn't play Urgot. It would have been so fitting, but he opted to go Vayne instead. A little disappointing.
Yep, a little disappointing, but we are getting into the game now. Any second.
It always takes a little bit when everyone's at 100%.
The wind is blowing, friends!
I'm always curious, too, to see how these teams are going to play this early game, this beginning. It's always something where teams can choose to do this little cheeky invade, or if they're going to end up lane swapping, or if they're just going to play very safe and standard. This is personally one of my favorite things to watch and see how it ends up playing out.
Riot changed the overlay. Damn it, Riot. Okay.
Rito, please.
Dang it. I can't remember what I was looking for, actually. Okay, so we are going to come into this game. Everyone's just coming out with their starting buys, running onto the line of scrimmage to try and see the enemy team.
Yeah, and for the most part, looking pretty standard as far as the starts go. I doubt we'll see any lane swaps just from the early positioning on each side. Each team starting, or looks to be starting, on the bottom side of the map, and they'll roam up as they continue their clears.
So not much going on right now. I do see that Morgana has decided to pick up the... dang it, what... My voice right now is not working. Spell Thief's Edge, and it's a really good item on Morgana, just because you can start the pool, and if you do, you get, or you can even go the pool second. It's a really good item on Morgana for the early laning phase, just because it's so easy to proc gold off of it. You just drop the pool, and you immediately get 3 stacks off of it, and it's like, yay, fun. You don't even need to burn that much mana, and you don't need to step into the attack range of the enemy AD carry, like you do on most other supports that use that item to auto-attack. But we are getting into lanes now. And what do you think about this Victor Karthus matchup?
I haven't seen enough Karthus recently to give a very good description on it, but I think Victor is such a safe laner overall. I really think he's going to have the edge in this. I'd be surprised if Karthus got a big lead unless there's a big jungle pressure from other side. I really think it's in Victor's favor, though. Those lasers, once he finishes an item chunk so hard, they're able to clear a whole wave just by itself, and hopefully we'll be able to see some roams around from Victor.
And interestingly, we're seeing the duo jungle coming out from Lone Drifter and Gamigam. They're doing this duo jungle. They're sharing that experience so that Drifter can go to the top lane, already level 2. And what do you think is the real... Oh, wait, anyway, so we got some plays going down in bottom lane. Flareon jumps in, knocks Bleeds up, and then headbutts him right back towards Crabgot, but the exhaust has come down. Raidara is looking to apply damage, but it's not going to be enough for a kill, and Crabgot's going to back off.
Yeah, big flash pulverize and headback back from the Alistar. He just didn't have enough damage to finish off the Morg. The exhaust came across on Vayne and it just stopped any other aggression coming through, but already big flashes happening.
Oh, we do have a gank coming in from Tokus. Raidara is low, but he's not going to be ballsy enough to dive into the turret. Gamigam has arrived, jumps in with the elastic slingshot, but it does not connect. Tokus is going to run away. Both AD carries are really low and not very desperate to fight.
And a little bit of miscommunication there. Alistar got another fantastic pulverize on the AD carry, and Gragas was just a little too far off to follow up and convert that into a kill. The flash is still up on Jinx. She hasn't had to use it. Just a little bit of miscommunication there, a missed gank.
Definitely. Anyways, we do see some trading going down in the top lane. Not much to talk about going on right now. The duo jungle from Drifter was complete, and he used his teleport to get back to the top lane. Both AD carries in the bottom lane are low, but they can't back quite yet because they don't have the items they need. A slight CS lead is held by Raidara. Flareon goes in with the headbutt pulverize. It doesn't deal enough damage to kill. Raidara is set seriously low, throws out the flame chompers. It's not going to do enough though. Gamigam
has held onto it the whole time. Alistar getting very good headbutts on these minions into a pulverize convert on the AD.
Here comes Gamigam. He comes in onto Crabgot, but it's not going to land the knockup. Bleach drops the Tormented Soil as Tuba is going to teleport in, trying to look for the kill on Raidara, but he runs away. Tuba ends up burning his teleport for nothing, as Lone Drifter gets a free push in the top lane. Oh, Tuba might look to go in onto Raidara! Raidara's flash is now down as he gets away, but he is going to live. Tuba still hanging around the bottom lane.
Oh, and a big binding onto Aurelia. She's going to go
Tuba
down.
Oh, that is going to be the end. First blood comes out for Bleeds off of a nice binding and a bad overstay from Tuba.
It's not just a bad overall sequence of events there for Tuba. He teleports down bot, doesn't get anything off the teleport, decides to stay. He ends up getting a nice reset off of a minion to Q onto the Jinx, looking for a kill. Just didn't have the damage and Jinx was able to flash out. He got greedy, decided to stay, and ends up getting caught, giving up first blood. Just lost out on the teleport, lost out on first blood, just a bad sequence.
Crabgot. He condemns Raidara into the wall for a kill. Now he's looking for Bleeds too, but Bleeds has no mana. And he's fighting him. That's going to be a double kill for Crabgot. Why did he fight him?
And that is the worst possible thing you could do after picking up First Blood bot. You stay too long, the Vayne comes in, picks up a free kill on the Jinx, and Morg stays to fight with no mana. There's nothing you're going to be able to do there. Just walk towards your tower. Instead, he gives up a second kill to the Vayne early. That is going to be a monster for UES.
Yeah, I just don't know what he was thinking. He had no capability to fight Crabgot, and he wasn't respecting whether or not there was a heal still up on that side. We do see Flareons and Tokus hanging around in the middle lane here, looking to gank Obyfar. Here comes Tokus on the flank. Obyfar uses his flash, but a flash body slam comes out from Tokus. Gelady has secured the kill onto Victor, and it looks like ATN is going to push up right here in the middle. Oh, no, they're going to rotate for the dragon. Great gank coming out from ATN. Are you there?
Yeah. Big gank for the Karthus. I really think the Victor has that lead in that lane, and being able to relieve some of that pressure for Karthus is going to help so much. He now has a kill and a big CS lead. So
ooh!
Huge.
Flareon uses his headbutt over the wall as Gamigam charges his elastic slingshot. Just absolutely negates any chance at a steal. Maximum disrespect.
And this Alistar is playing so well, getting a lot of free combos off on Jinx down bot, able to block out the opposite jungler, just making sure that you get a free smite on Dragon. He's playing fantastic.
That was a really crazy play to recognize that he could do that in that situation. He just sees the opportunity and he stops any potential dragon steal. That's what you do around objectives that are being contested by the enemy jungler. You just don't let the enemy jungler to get in there to steal in the first place. Negate all opportunity of that steal, and it's paid off for ATN with the first dragon. Oh! And that was a really great binding coming out from Bleeds. And it was good presence of mind by Radar to immediately follow up with the ult, even though Flareons was standing there because Flareons couldn't get into the position to block. But meanwhile, Tuba is fighting Drifter in the top lane, goes back and uses his bounce to get away, but Transcendent Blades is dealing the damage. Drifter is not going to die to that, but Gelady is going to use his ultimate, and that's going to be a kill in the top lane for Karthus. That's when you press R.
And this is why I love the Aurelia matchup against Gnar. It's a little difficult early on when you're pre-6, but once you get level 6 with your ult, you're able to get a Q reset on a minion, get a stun, get 2 to 3 autos with your W passive active. You just get so much free damage off, it's a little bit too much for Mininar to handle. Followed up by a Karthus ult, that's going to be a free kill for Karthus.
Yes, and we do see these leads that are building up on the right people on ATN. Sure, Bane is running a small CS deficit, which is evening out the gold between them almost. Actually, Jinx has a 400 gold lead, but besides the point, they're getting the kills and the distribution onto the right players on their team. And because they're such a late game focused composition, that's going to pay dividends later.
Yeah, this is really, really big. When you have both a Vayne and a Karthus have leads early on in lanes, it translates so well into a mid-game and then into your monster late game for these big team fights. If UES wants to have a chance at winning this game, they need to make some big plays early on, and before this mid-game power spike happens for both of those, they need Zac to get off some of these strong ganks, either mid or bot, and convert those into either a towers or a dragon when it comes back up. They need some kind of pressure point to get an advantage over ATN.
Definitely. And we are seeing a good CS lead for Gelady coming in the middle lane, nearly 20 CS. And actually, this applies to all lanes except for the bottom. Just CS leads across every single role, even support. That gold is not making it easy for UES to come back. It's propelling ATN's late game champions into a safer middle game stage. That is going to make it difficult for them to really come back. UES needs to start making some aggressive plays.
Lead, he needs to push this a little bit further. He is going to be the one that's able to pull them back into this game. He has a little bit over 20 CS lead, and Zac's going to roam bot and see if he can get something here.
Binding does not connect onto Flareons, and CrabGod is looking to trade under Radar. Gamigam comes out of nowhere, but he again misses the elastic slingshot. Tokus comes in, teleport, but two people get locked down by the Flame Chompers. CrabGod is looking to chase on, and CrabGod walks right into the Flame Chompers. Nothing is going to come out of all of that chaos except for UES having a teleport advantage. Oh, Flareons with the flash pulverize lands onto Radar, but Radar flashes away. Here comes the explosive cast coming out from Tokuson and knocks them all away, but it's not before Flareons dies. Not sufficient follow-up from his team. Bleeds is chasing on. They're looking for more. Tokus missed the binding on the CrabGod, but the exhaust still goes on. It's not going to be enough, however, as he is going to run away. Gamigam looking to go onto Gelady. The elastic slingshot lands. Here comes the rocket. Gelady gets damaged, and he is going to die to Gamigam. Oh no, by far here. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, CrabGod is going low as Radar looks to secure the kill. CrabGod is really low. No potion burning. Bleed secures the kill, but the reset does not come off on Radar because it lasted too long. Victor is trading onto Tokus. Tokus is going to run away to his turret, and after that chaotic fight, everything, the kill score and the gold lead is evened. for UES, but Tokus may be looking for more.
Oh, what a crazy instant team fight.
Gamigam is coming in. Karthus ultimate is coming in. I don't think this is going to deal enough damage to kill anybody. Still a little bit too early. Although
what an extended fight. It began with Zach roaming down bot to finally push the one advantage that their team has. The downside is that Gragas is there for a counter engage. ATN knew it was coming. Both mid laners roam down bot as well, and you have a full-fledged 4v4, which eventually is disengaged. UES backs off, and Alistar does a crazy flash pulverize trying to get a follow-up on something, but UES stayed. They were there to counter engage. They got exactly what they needed. They got the kills, and they evened up this game a little bit. Let's see if they can push this a little bit further and eventually take a lead here, but that is so good for UES. It's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and you know, I saw that Alistar went in there. I just don't think that was coordinated with his team. If you're, he went in, he flash pulverized, but none of his team was ready to follow up. So I feel like he didn't make his team aware that he was looking for that play. And if you don't make your team aware, then they're not going to be able to follow up. And that's exactly what happened. Tokus had to delay for so long before he threw out his ultimate. And it ended up not paying off at all for ATN when he went in. Oh, a rocket comes out, not going to secure the dragon as Tokus secures it with his smite. It is going to be a 2-dragon lead coming out from ATN as they run off from the dragon pit to recall.
Yeah, another dragon goes over to the side of ATN, and that's going to be a problem for UES.
Gamigam coming in as Gelady. Oh, by far turns around the kill with this Chaos Storm, and it looks like Gelady took a little bit more than he can chew. As Oh by far and Gamigam look to pressure this middle lane tower as UES takes one in the bottom lane.
And this is definitely what I expected to see a little bit earlier. Pressuring that Karthus, the only escape he has is Flash, and when that's not up, he really doesn't have a way to get out of there. So, seeing Zach really pressure mid, there's going to be a lot of potential for kills up there.
Ooh, in the top lane, Tuba's going in. Transcendent Blades is going to secure the kill for Tuba. A great play coming out from him, although Drifter may have stayed a little bit too long.
And the disrespect fade away Transcendent Blade for the kill. Aurelia is gonna push this lane so hard. I don't think Nar's ever gonna be able to stay in lane in 1v1er.
Here comes Gamigam, and he is gonna secure the kill onto Tuba. And trading the kill right back.
And Tuba just being a little bit greedy there. He doesn't have vision up there. He doesn't have vision on where the other team is, and he decides to stay with like a 5th health to push that turret. You gotta kill just back and take the gain. Instead, he's greedy, ends up giving up a kill back to the other side.
UES has may have had that like early game deficit that was going for them, but as this game goes on, it's really showing that their teamwork is stronger so far than ATN's is. Just when they make a play, they do it together and not as split apart as ATN has throughout the game. Meanwhile, looks like ATN is looking to engage onto Bleeds in the bottom lane. He's running away. The Karthus Qs are dealing the damage. Flareon's popped his ultimate to cleanse the binding, but they do not manage to secure the kill. As they roam back towards mid.
A little bit there. Not much they're going to be able to get off that, and Alistar still burns his ultimate. And then we see a big fight up top. Aurelia, again, getting these good resets into stun procs, and just a lot of damage going off.
Gamigam looked like he wanted to go for another kill, but Tokus has arrived as well. He has used his ultimate, but he is in a 2v1 now. Nara is coming around. The explosive cast knocks Gamigam back towards Aurelia. Here comes the rocket, but it does not connect. Oh, by far is here. He's activated his ghost. He's chasing onto Tuba. He uses the flash to dodge the barrel slow. He's looking for Tuba, uses the Chaos Storm and secures the kill. Oh, by far on a killing spree as UES looks to pressure this top lane tower. Tokus has no choice but to back and watch. But here comes a teleport from Gelady, looking to stop the tower take. Oh, by far takes 2 tower shots as Tokus rotates back around, but Tokus does not have the mana for this. Oh, by far landing some really good poke. Looks like it's going to be the end of that. At the very least, that teleport was worth it to stop that tower pressure in the top lane. But Lone Drifter is still here, still pushing.
Another fight stemming from this big lead that Tuba has over Lone Drifter in the top lane. He gets so much damage down on Lone Drifter that he has to back out a lane. They end up converting a kill onto Zach in the jungle.
Karthus ult is coming out. That's going to be 2 kills picked up for Tuba. And, wow, there's a really fast play coming out from ATN. Tuba is going to head back towards the middle lane now, and it looks like Tuba is going to be the one that wants to carry this lineup.
Tuba is looking very, very strong. UES is going to have a lot of problems dealing with this split push. They need to figure out some way to make it so that they can hold a lane and still get these picks off on the other sides of the map. It's going to be very difficult for them to do that.
And you do see CrabGot and Flareons pushing up this bottom lane. Gam looking for the elastic slingshot, but he doesn't have the backup. Still, it manages to scare Flareons away as CrabGot is pressuring the bottom tower. And here comes the engage. The elastic slingshot does not connect onto CrabGot, however, so it's not gonna be a fight. Oh, by far, looking to get some damage onto Gelady, lands the poke, and Drifter has taken the top lane tower for UES. Still, no large gold leads have been built up, and the team fights have been going back and forth. Meanwhile, Tokus looking for the flash body slam onto Oh by Far, a perfect combo, and that is going to be a shutdown coming out from Gelady, but Lone Drifter looking to trade the kill back. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Tokus is ready to stop any potential re-engage onto Gelady's low self. Meanwhile, Drifter is going to come into this middle lane. Tuba is hanging off to the left side, looking to engage once that Nara bar ticks down a little. Though the rest of UES has arrived.
Another big boy play from Tokus. He gets that flash body slam, ults the Victor back into the middle of the lane, and is able to convert a kill off of it.
Here comes the engage. Gam jumps in. UES has secured Tokus. That gives the reset onto Radara as he's hitting onto Flareons. The ult comes out. Tuba's looking to dive onto Radara. Damage is coming out. Tuba is on a killing spree. Tuba's got a double kill. He wants more. He's looking for Gams as CrabGot chases the running away target. Gammy is not running towards his tower, however. He's stuck alone against 3. He gets headbutted back towards the wall, but he flashes over. Elastic slingshot comes out to escape.
Oh, I love it.
Wow, looks like that was not the greatest time to headbutt. But still, that was still a one fight from ATN. Even though UES has arrived to defend their tower, it doesn't have a lot of health, and they only have 2 defenders.
And then
they
again,
do have the wave clear, however, and Dragon is live.
Forcing a fight mid lane, he forces an engage, he gets a body slam right in the middle of 3 people. He's able to force this fight. He gets picked off right away, but the rest of his team is so far ahead they're able to pick up 2 kills. Gam probably should have gone down, but with a nice duke he's able to live. They give up a dragon though. ATN just starting to run away with this. They get a couple good fights in a row, plus a 3rd dragon. This is a huge issue for UES. They have to stop this dragon, and potential 5th dragon coming over on the side of ATN.
Yeah, they've given up so much pressure on that objective, and with how rapidly ATN has managed to pick up these dragons, it doesn't matter if UES even manages to stack a gold lead off of these towers, because that 5th dragon is worth more gold than that in stats and in the burn. Meanwhile, Tokus looks like he wanted to get caught out, or well, he didn't want to get caught out, but he was caught out by UES. Although no CC was able to come down, so Tokus is just gonna sneakily body slam right over the wall, as the rest of UES groups around the middle lane. Gold is actually super even, but UES has that enormous lead on dragons.
Yeah, those dragons are going to be such a huge objective late in this game. In the next, like, 10 to 15 minutes, regardless of how this goes, ATN is going to have that dragon pressure. Even if UES ends up getting some more picks and a couple good team fights, there's always going to be that threat of a 5th dragon. They need to get the next one and stop that threat of a 5th.
Yeah, what the problem has been so far is that when the dragon is coming up, they haven't minded the timer and put up those wards that they need to contest. You need wards to contest an objective. If you're completely blind, your chances of a steal are significantly lower because you can't see the health bar, and you can't see any potential for you being disengaged. Anyways, Gam is coming on to Tokus here in the top lane. He is going to just body slam right over the wall and escape. But I don't think that would have been the most advantageous fight for them anyway, as Drifter is way behind and Tuba is way ahead.
Tuba, again, going to be a really big focal point of how ATN closes this game out. They're going to be able to split whatever lane they want to.
Gam is looking for Gelady. Gelady is isolated against both of them. Meanwhile, Bleeds is coming in on a Crab Got. The Soul Shackles has come out, but the stun has now landed. Radara secures the kill. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Tuba is going after these guys. The Baron has been started, but I don't think this is what ATN wants after losing 2 of their carries.
Yeah,
they're gonna head back towards mid lane.
Gaming deep in the opposite jungle, able to pick some very free kill on the
Oh, Tuba! He's on the turret dive, but it looks like he's not gonna be quite that aggressive. Runs away, and it looks like ATN is gonna push up this middle lane wave.
And meanwhile, while the fight was going on near ATN's red buff, Crab got pushed up a little too far. He's attacking that turret, looking to take it down. He was just a couple autos away, but both Radara and Bleeds were able to close in on him quick enough to be able to not only pick up the kill, but save the tower as well.
Definitely. Looks like this game is going to stall out for a minute while everyone just gets back into their lanes, recalls, buys items. The dragon isn't up right now, and that's what ATN is looking to pressure. But I do think they need to start trading some of these turrets back because it's turning it into a big gold lead problem for UES. And if they have that gold lead, they have the money for the wards necessary to secure the dragon area and prevent any more takes.
Yeah, they're going to need to get some big control over in Dragon side, and they haven't been able to do it yet. We'll see if they can finally get some control. They're going to need to if they want to stop these dragons, though.
Yeah, the problem with UES, if right now, is that not only have they been giving up the dragons, but right now their gold distribution is super even across the entire team. Those kills and assists are pretty much going in even numbers to everybody, and that means you're not stacking up that big carry. Sure, it means that if you lose out one member, you're not immediately out of the team fight, but when one person can carry harder than 4 people with even gold, if he has like a huge lead, he can kill all 4 of those people as long as he has the help from his team, and they don't need as much stats to protect him as you need in stats to carry.
Yeah, and I believe this top lane deficit is just so large that they're really going to need to find a way to avoid this deep split push that Tuba might try to do. Surprisingly, though, UES has 3 towers down, and ATN doesn't have any, so that is one big point that UES can hang their hat on a little bit. That's where they're getting this gold lead on. They have 3 towers up. Hopefully they can push this into a little bit of map control and, again, work on this 4th dragon that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah, the problem here is Tuba has a 2,500 gold lead onto Drifter. Look at all of this damage he's putting out. He's going to be doing that in team fights as well, and it means that UES has a problem when it comes to the straight-up 5v5s. So when the next dragon comes up, they need to take it rapidly because they can't afford to team fight right now when one of ATN has such an enormous lead, and all of UES is equally distributing their gold.
And that's the difficulty of picking your top laner first. Tuba able to pick whatever champion he wants to Intanar, and Aurelia, again, after she gets a certain level and enough damage, just blows Nar out of the water.
Looks like Gamigam wanted to look for a little bit of pressure under Flareons, but nothing much comes of it as they wait for Tokus to rejoin the team. Dragon is in 20 seconds, and Jalady is backing. I don't think that is the greatest decision from Karthus. He's not going to make it back in time for this dragon spawn, and UES is completely secured the pressure. They know where the wards are right now. They're going to take them out, and ATN doesn't have the wards to see what's happening. But they have gotten here in time to pressure UES off, and it looks like they want to take another dragon, as UES is posturing on the right side. Oh, but here comes Teleport! Meganar is up, but Jalady immediately uses his Zonias. He ults 2 into the wall. Bleed secures a kill onto Jalady. Karthus is down, but they're all standing right in the middle of his passive. The ultimate comes out. A lot of UES are really low, and that's going to be a 4th dragon coming out from ATN. There's no way for them to contest it with their dragon gone. Tuba's going to dive in. Tuba is godlike. They're looking for the kill onto Tuba, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to chase on. Both Bleeds and Radar are really low. They need to run as Tokus is looking to re-engage onto them. That was really, really large amount of disrespect for Karthus' passive.
And this looked good to begin with for UES. They had the vision on Dragon. They had the upper hand. They were on Dragon before ATN was. ATN was the one who were forced to go towards UES. They even had a good teleport too. They had Gnar teleport with Mega up. He's able to get a flash ult, I believe, on 3 people. The difficult thing is Karthus was able to just pop Zhonya's. They fought on top of it. He's able to get a good ult. It just didn't go UES's way, and ATN is able to pick up their 4th Dragon, which puts a timer on for the 5th one, which inevitably will really be a big swing in their favor.
Yeah, the thing was that during that team fight, after they killed Karthus, he was still there, and they were walking right through him. Karthus was managing to apply his ease damage to every target in that team fight. They were just walking right through it, disrespecting the fact that even though he was dead, he was still there, casting spells. They needed to run away in that situation. Yes, you give up the 4th Dragon, but that would have been way better than what happened there. Anyways, looks like ATN looking for a pick in the jungle. Gelady uses his teleport to rejoin. There is going to be no fight, but everyone is totally mixed up right now, as it looks like ATN is going to pressure and take the top lane tower. And there goes what was going for UES this game was that gold lead, and now it's gone.
Karthus taking a lot of damage here. He's going to go down quick, but he's able to...
And the engage comes out, but Gelady is still alive. The rocket comes out, but it does not contact Gelady. There is no kill. Lone Drifter goes Mega Gnar, but he only ults Tuba into the wall. Radara is looking to get some damage into the wall, into the enemy team, but he just doesn't have enough space. Tuba jumps into the back of the fight. Tuba is legendary, as it might be that ATN looks for the Baron with most of UES down. They are securing the vision. Tuba has started it. The enemy jungler is still up, but there is a wave pushing for them in the bottom lane, and Tuba has his teleport up. He's gonna be looking for the steal. There is no ward in the pit, and it looks like ATN is gonna also secure the Baron. And with the Dragon gonna be coming up in the next 3 or 4 minutes, this is extremely dangerous.
And
by far, caught out in the middle lane. Rest in peace.
This is strictly just from UES knowing that they have to force some kind of play. ATN gathered around Baron. They're able to get some very good poke off onto the Karthus. He got incredibly low, but you just can't finish him off when he has that Zhonya's. And even if you do, if you commit to a fight, he's going to get so much damage off. They don't finish off the Karthus. ATN is able to re-engage, and Tuba is just so big. He was able to force Gnar to do a one-man ult on him. With Aurelius passive up, he just gets out of it right away. They're able to roll that fight into a Baron, into a 4-for-1, and they're going to push these lanes out.
And I think at this point that UES is just getting desperate. They're so far behind that they can't seem to fight, but they need to contest objectives, and they don't know how to do it properly from this far behind. So it just keeps giving up these great team fights to ATN, where they win, destroy everybody, and it's all over. But they are going to rotate over to this jungle. They've taken the second middle lane tower, and they have an enormous gold lead now that they can pressure. They're the stronger team late game, coming from not just their solo lanes, but also their AD carry position. And not to mention that Tuba is seriously fed. This is not looking good for UES at all.
Yeah, and one of the downsides of them actually having that tower lead early, ATN had no towers now. Now that they're finally pushing, they're going to get a humongous influx of gold on top of their already huge lead that they have. Just really a death sentence to UES's side.
Yeah, and you did see ATN pushing out to that second lane tower, and UES immediately backing off. The thing about having Baron and pressuring the second tier tower in lane is that it's really easy to flank a team. When you have the Baron and you're getting onto that second tier tower, you can just walk around, and anybody defending that tower is super sensitive, especially when you have an Alistar, where if he flanks you, he's going to knock you directly into his team, way out of position, way out of any chance for you to escape, even if you have flash.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do in defending those tier 2 towers. You have to give them up, or else you just risk losing a fight and then the game right on that tower from a flank. And ATN is just so far ahead, they can really do whatever they want. They can force any objective and nearly win any fight that they end up picking. UES is going to need really a perfect team fight, a really big pick on a priority target, or just a massive misplay from ATN to be able to take a fight or even take any objectives now. 5th Dragon's coming up. It's going to be up in around 40 seconds, and that's really going to be able to push ATN right into UES's base. They have to stop this 5th Dragon.
Yeah, and for UES, it's all about the turtle right now because they can't do anything else. They need to stop first of all, they need to steal this dragon. They absolutely need to get this steal. It's one of the most essential parts to them having any chance of coming back, because if ATN manages to secure this 5th dragon, and then when Baron comes up they can secure that again, that is not something you can come back from. So not only does UES need the turtle, they need to get this dragon. Oh, but they are going to engage onto KrabGot. KrabGot flashes away. Gamigam is taking the damage, and KrabGot flashes. His ult is down. Here comes the Righteous Glory from Flareons, and it looks like he's going to go down. UES going for this last desperate fight. Gelady gets a kill. Oh, by far takes one back onto Tokus, but it's a double kill for Gelady. He is dead, but here comes KrabGot. He's focusing on the Bleeds.
Oh,
Bleeds
Tuba
uses his Zonias. Tuba is going low. He is not going to die. And ATN is going to turn away from this team fight and take what they really want, which is that dragon. But with both junglers down, they have to be careful of a steal from Drifter or Bleeds. And they all have ranged abilities that can attack over this wall. UES just needs to keep a ward in there. And ATN needs to pull it out. I don't know why they're leaving it in the pit.
There. They're not able to pick up the steal.
No!
Start picking it up.
Close.
I'm not sure if he got that from a trample or a skill, but that was as perfect of a fight that UES was going to get. They committed 3 people to chase Gamigam past the Dragon Pit. I believe it was Alistar, Vayne, and Gragas, or Karthus, excuse me, all pushing. Meanwhile, Tuba and Tokus are 2v4ing their team outside of the Dragon Pit, closer to UES's red buff. They're unable to take both of them down. They take Tokus down, but Tuba is so far ahead, he's able to take damage from 4 different people. Karthus ult comes through, and the rest of ATN is finally able to collapse on it. Just when you have that much time committed to be able to kill 2 of ATN's team, and you're unable to do it, that just shows how far behind they actually are. And now they have 5th Dragon, which really puts them over the top.
Yeah, and I think UES was just looking for that fight the wrong way. They shouldn't have engaged. Yes, you had KrabGot out of position. That was great. But he had both of his summoners up. He just immediately gets away from that. And then ATN turns the fight and wins. But what they needed to be looking for there wasn't the team fight. The name of the game for them it was and still is Turtle. But it's going to be much harder to achieve that now when you give up your smite threat to engage your fight. You were never going to win in the first place.
And I think this is just a common issue as, they actually do get a
here. Drifter is caught out by KrabGot. We do have this Zeke's Harbinger coming in. And wow, Vayne is doing the damage. Drifter just gets obliterated.
Yeah, and UES really did what they needed to do. A lot of teams run into this issue where they're so far behind, they don't want to throw a fight, they don't want to lose the game, but they have to pick a fight to engage on. They picked their fight by the Dragon Pit and it just didn't go their way, and now it's just a little bit too late for them to even be able to have that chance on winning the fight. 5th Dragon is just too much at this point in time. Yeah,
with this 5th Dragon, they can basically ignore the... Oh, wait, but Radar gets knocked back into ATN's team. Irelia is going after them. Tuba is legendary. He's looking for more. Gamigam is low. No passive either, so that's going to be a double kill for Tuba. He wants more. The Headbutt Pulverize. Oh, by far goes down to Tokus. This is going to be 2v5. Tuba going in for more. They're looking for the kill onto Drifter, but it looks like he's going to escape despite the burn. But what is UES going to do? They have no dragons. And these Nexus towers are being contested. Drifter has come back. He has the full Narbar, but all ATN is waiting for is minions to take down these towers with their 5th dragon. Flareons gets caught by the binding. Tokus, it looks like ATN's going to have to run away just because all of their front line is running low health bars. But more importantly, this Baron is available. And
they're able to pick
Radara with the snipe, but I'm not sure what this is going to be able to do, especially because they didn't take out the jungler with that rocket, and this is still a pretty easy Baron for UES if they decide to take it. Looks like they're not going to, they just want to be careful, no risk for the throw, and I agree with that decision because they waited a little bit too long. Tuba does not get hit by the boomerang. Ooh, this is a good call.
Yes, this is literally the only way that they're going to get back into this game, and Tokus, smartly enough, saves back. We'll see if he's able to pick up a steal, but this is the last shot for UES.
Here comes Tokus, but the Baron is secured by UES. They're turning around for more. That's 3 kills coming out from UES. Have they made this game even again? I don't... There's still a massive gold lead. I wouldn't get too far ahead of yourselves, but that was a play that kept them in the game.
And that's step 1 of like 10 steps for UES, even to have a chance of coming back in this game. Fantastic that they're able to not only defend their base, but pick up an exit kill and convert that into a Baron and 2 more.
There were 3 of them.
So that is such a big moment for UES, but now they have to turtle, they have to keep the waves pushed, they really have to get this next dragon as well, because again, another 5th dragon is really a death sentence for them. So hopefully they can get a couple wards out in this little free time that they have while they have Baron and while the ATN is again positioning around, but they need to get a couple wards out and contest this next dragon.
I find it funny. ATN, they decided not to do the Baron just to prevent the throws, and then when UES comes up to do the Baron, they throw the game anyway. They start the throw. It's going to be a really long time for them to throw. They need to make more mistakes than that, but it was a really poorly played Baron fight coming out from them, just because once Tokus came over the wall to steal the Baron, everyone else committed with him. That's a 3v5. I don't care how much of a gold lead you have. You ain't going to win that.
Yeah, I think they made the right call in not trying to do the Baron, because they...
Yeah, that was the right call, but it was also the right call not to commit everyone to go into the Baron pit. Just send Tokus. If he dies, whatever. Just don't give all of them kills. That was completely unnecessary. Because they weren't going to win that fight anyway. They didn't need to challenge UES around the Baron except to try the steal. That's all they needed to try. But anyways, we do have the Dragon coming out in 20 seconds. All of the lanes are pushed in ATN's favor. So it's make it or break it time coming out from UES. Dragon in 10 seconds. They need this steal.
And I know this is hard for them to do, but I feel like they have to commit a fight to this. Going for a steal, I just don't think is good enough. Oh, and such a big...
Oh! Flares knocks him away! Tuba is coming in onto bleed. Soul Shackles comes out, but Tuba runs away to avoid the stun. Nobody has died, but here comes the ultimate from Karthus. Does not kill Bleeds because Bleeds uses his Zonias, but it does deal a good amount of damage to the entirety of UES as they are on the run.
Just another strength of the Alistar support. He gives you so much zone control, able to knock the Zac away, and that's that downside of just going for the steal. It's not even a guaranteed thing that you're going to get a shot at it. They had to commit a fight for that. This 5th Dragon is really going to help the ATN push.
Flareons is doing such a good job of securing the objectives. It's not even Tokus' Smite. It's Flareons constantly making sure Gamigam doesn't even get the chance to steal in the first place. Because he headbutted Gamigam over the wall on the last Dragon take, so that he didn't even manage to use his Elastic Slingshot to get into the bit and try that steal, which was what they needed. Because UES had that Baron, and Delady just jumps right into the middle of the fight. He tanks the turret for a few shots, but it's not going to be enough. UES is turning the fight, but that's a huge multi-man knockout coming out from Flares. Raydara has secured Tuba. He's looking for more. Delady is going low. Flareon's ult is up. Drifter secures a second kill onto Delady, but he's still there. Double kill for Crabgod, but it's not going to be enough. Raydara helps Zac with the shutdown. Looking for more. He gets the kill onto Alistair. That is a 4 for 3 in favor of UES. And wow, they are turtling this so well, but that was super over-aggressive from ATN.
A fight to go in their favor. Both Karthus and Aurelia dive so far, they go past the turret, past the inhib, trying to get this kill on this Jinx, and Jinx is able to flash out and just be completely safe. Meanwhile, they're tanking a turret, Jinx is able to auto-attack for free, Karthus is too deep, he doesn't have hope because he burned it on the push right after Dragon. This is just a picture-perfect fight for UES. Jinx stays alive, able to auto all she wants, and they're able to pick up these kills. They get a 4-for-1, or not 4-for-1, but 4-for-3, and they keep their base alive. There's still hope.
This has been an absolutely insane game. UES, with that deficit, still managing to fight back. They're clawing back for everything. They've managed to survive and keep their inhibitors up, most of them, through a Baron and 2 5th dragons in a row with no 1st dragon of their own to offer them even that 6% damage buff. Yes, ATN is making mistakes, but it is really good that UES, despite the deficit, is still managing this hold.
And it's a little bit of sloppy play from ATN and a little bit of a big carry from Radar going on here, but this mixture is keeping them in the game. We'll see what happens when the next Baron comes up, if they're going to contest that, or if they're again going to choose to opt to stay in base. We'll see how ATN approaches this too, because now they've had 2 straight pushes into their base that have failed, and they've lost team fights. What do they do now? How do they approach this?
Who? ATN or UES? I'm sorry, I kind of lost track.
ATN, I mean, you've pushed twice, you've lost 2 straight team fights. Do you continue to 5-man a lane and hope to win these team fights, or do you try to do a split push with Tuba? We'll see what they have to do.
They just need to stop over diving for the towers. They have a lead. They have the advantage late game at 6 items just through their picks. They need to stop going in so deep. Like there's no reason to dive the turret on that last fight. You had the pressure enough to siege. The Baron had run out from UES, and UES was using that Baron to turtle. Without it, it was much harder for them to try and do that.
Yeah, I think ATN just got a little impatient, but we'll see how this Baron fight plays out, because it's going to be up in 10 seconds, and we'll see which team decides to start it, or if one team is able to get a pick or a very good engage.
Yeah, and with the gold lead running out in efficiency, because the later into the game everybody is getting up to their maximum items, and the efficiency of a gold lead drops as the game goes on. As we are approaching that part where gold lead is inefficient, it's UES needs to get these objectives. They need the objectives rather than the items in order to fight back. Just because even at 6 items, ATN has an advantage just through their composition. So they need the objectives to fight through that advantage. And they need to not allow another 5th dragon to come through for ATN, because they only have 1 inhibitor tower left. If ATN picks up another 5th dragon, it's going to be super easy for them to take all 3 inhibitors in one shot. But they are pressuring down onto this mid inhibitor tower. That is the last lane tower coming out from UES. All gone now. Gammy engages onto the back, lands a 4-man knockup. But Radara gets knocked a little bit out of the fight. He's focusing onto the support. This AoE crit is doing a lot of damage from Radara. Zonius comes out from Geladia. It has now run out. Obyfar secures the kill onto Gelady. Here comes the rocket. It is not going to secure anybody, however. Karthus comes out, but it's not going to be enough to take out anyone on UES's side. And that is 2 people down from ATN, while 4 people are still alive on the blue side. Dragon is up, but UES is running to the Baron. But more importantly, this is 50 seconds without the jungler of ATN. And yes, it is a good idea to come and take Baron, but I am really disappointed that they didn't send anyone to make sure Dragon wasn't going to get done by Vayne.
And it happened again. ATN gets a fantastic rotation. They're both dancing around the Baron. ATN says, you know what, if you want the Baron, by all means take it. We will take your base. They get a free inhib, but Gamigan with a humongous engage. He gets a 5-man elastic slingshot
that was
into his
amazing.
ultimate. Oh, so beautiful. Again, Morgana able to get a good black shield off on Jinx. He's able to block that Aurelia stun. Jinx is able to auto all day. He gets so much damage off. He got a couple AoE crits, and they're able to not only ward off ATN, but win a fight, push them out of their base, and get Baron. Downside, ATN's able to get 5th Dragon as well, so we're going to see if either team really wants to push with either of these buffs, or if they're just going to kind of feel out the map and see if they're able to get up any picks. But what does ATN do? They had a humongous lead. Baron, 5 Dragons, 10k gold lead, turrets inhibs down, and they've lost 3-4 straight team fights. How do you come back from this?
The thing is, ATN has so much disengage that it's not even worth it for UES to try and engage on them until ATN overextends, gets into a position where Gamigam can get those crazy engages, or Gamigam or Drifter is going to be able to get those crazy engages that have been going on all game. So they need to when they're letting ATN being the ones to push them, it gives them a better opportunity for these engages because ATN is the one pushing in, looking for the objectives. It gives UES a lot of space to flank. They do have this Baron now. It would be good for turtling if they still had towers. They really should have stopped the dragon, but meanwhile, Tuba is coming in on Obaifar in the top lane. He jumps in and gets that kill. That's 76 seconds until Obaifar respawns. It's a 4v5 against the 5th dragon. I think that might have just lost them the game.
Oh my
3
God.
inhibitors down. ATN is pushing into the base. Obaifar, why would you try and solo Tuba? That was a really bad decision. ATN is pushing in onto the base. The middle lane is the only one currently with inhibitors, but the side lanes are not far behind. Flareon's goal was in onto Radara, but nothing comes of it. Gelati is going low. Radara is getting a lot of damage. Oh, what a well-timed ultimate! That's a 4-man knockup coming out from Flareon's. However, Radara is trying to carry this fight, but it does not matter. The Nexus is going to go down. ATN wins the game and moves on to the next round of the winner's bracket as UES drops down.
They finally figured it out.
What a game.
They lose 3 to 4 straight team fights where they're 5v5ing a lane. They finally decide to send 4 bots and Tuba alone top. UES answers with sending not Gnar top, but they send Victor to try to poke off the wave, keep Tuba away. Tuba decides to just flash right on top of Victor, stun him, gets 3 autos, ulting with Sheen procs, gets a Q to finish him off after Victor flashes. That ends the game for UES. They have no way to hold 4v5. ATN just gets a really good pickup after they, to be honest with you, threw a humongous lead.
Wow, that was an really insane game
by UES. I mean, they, it's very rare that you see a turtle like that, and they're able to hold off from Baron, 5 dragons, and Hibs down, but ATN kind of finally figured it out that, they're a little sloppy in playing 5v5s, and they kind of made some bad decisions. They finally figured out that let Tuba carry you. Tuba carried this game. He was so big. He destroyed his lane. He's able to split against anyone. They finally decided, hey, just let him go to work.
Yeah. Radara was applying so much damage from the backline that game. It was crazy. He nearly managed to carry that game. It was just Tuba catching Obaifar out right in the top lane in a solo. It was a really bad decision of Obaifar to attempt to fight him. It just there was no way he was winning that. It's just that was a 1v1. You're Victor. You're supposed to team fight. You're not supposed to solo. Aurelia is the quintessential duelist.
Yeah, great game. Fantastic to see a great defense like that from UES. They just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the rest of that. If they managed to turtle that out for so long, their teamwork was actually really good. Like ATN needs to work on their teamwork because while UES was behind the whole game, they were individually outplaying and all of that, they weren't working together. There were a lot of times when they seemed to not combo their abilities together with their teammates. And that ended up playing out really badly for them. But anyways, we are going to take a 15-minute break as we come out for the next game in